Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
We started. Hi, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hey, Jackie Cation.
Here we are. It's a pretty good one.
I think this will be an okay one. We're only doing one. It's well before midnight.
Right.
It's 2 hours before midnight.
It's 10 p.m.
Yes.
There's. I've already done a set tonight. You already worked a full day at work.
Did a full day. I was in New. Well, okay. Tonight I just came from CAA, Creative Artists Agency.
Right.
The Death Star. That that Ari Emanuel, it's supposedly, Entourage is based.
Oh, is it?
On CAA, I think so.
I've been a part of show business that doesn't know things.
And I used to have my agent. I used to be with CAA a long time ago,
Oh,
and
really?
then I ended up getting dropped. Just coincidentally, right after I had a baby. Right after I dropped a baby, CAA dropped this baby.
Here's a baby.
Doug Stanhope, his CISO special was being shown there in the theater, like a live showing of it,
Yeah.
And so there was, I don't know, at least 100 people there.
Oh, that's so. And so you got to watch it, and it was an hour.
It was an hour and 11.
Hour
It was
and
great.
11. Perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
That's plenty.
Stop writing. Give
No,
me your full attention.
Full attention. I'm just writing down because I thought of a tag.
Okay.
So, all right. It was hard to.
For your act?
No, for this podcast.
Okay.
So, if I was thinking about jokes while you were telling the story, you have every right to go, what the fuck?
He did first of all, I feel like he pushes, this is such a hackneyed expression to say push boundaries, but he really does widen the circle of what comics can talk about,
Yeah.
If you ever go, can I get away with this? You just watch this special.
Right, watch Stanhope.
Or a Doug Stanhope special.
Yeah,
and go,
watch Doug Stanhope
I can.
because he will talk about anything. What was...
Like you might not be able to pull it off, but he could. And
Right.
so you get his skill and his chops. You could do it.
That is a valid. That's such an. It's like when Sarah Silverman talked about rape 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The way she did it was unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so everybody copycatted it.
Yeah.
And then there became a lot of really shitty rape jokes.
I don't think you can even copycat Stanhope because he's not a one-liner person. It's like he's been dipped in booze for 25 years, and he's a
that guy's
storyteller.
pickled.
And
Yeah.
you feel it in his voice and the way he squints at the audience. It's authentic because it's how he's lived his whole life.
Yeah, he's not screwing around. He's just
he's a great storyteller.
Right,
And-
he's not right. It's almost like it's not writing. It's being written from his life.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from his skill though to say
no.
he's not writing it though.
Yeah, I don't mean that either.
Yeah, but he also he tells these expansive stories, and then he lands on the pin of a needle with the punch word.
Really?
And I won't even tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But I'll say he has a story that ends with the phrase with us. And he means a group of people.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, haha, us. And then the second word after that is a real punchline.
Yeah.
And it turns the whole thing into another joke.
Wow.
And then he goes off into another area. So I was like, fuck, that was perfect. It was a perfect landing. And he did this other thing. And it's weird. Baron Vaughn, I worked with him last weekend in New York and the previous weekend in San Francisco. And I guess he's Shakespearean trained actor.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
All right.
He was saying how he was taught when you're doing Shakespeare, there's so much exposition that people, and I guess I noted now that he pointed it out, I notice it. Shakespearean actors will use their hands a lot to sort of place ideas in the air. So someone will,
So you don't get lost or something?
yeah, like Baron's example was, someone saying my mother, and so the right hand goes up in the air, and as you say, mother, right?
Yep.
And so you in the audience is like, oh, that's where the mother is being held in the air,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And my son, and the son is the left hand over here. And then they can use the hand movements to refer to those things without having to repeat mother, son all the time, right?
Yes.
So Stanhope did that. And I won't use the exact phrasing, but he has something where he says thing one and thing two.
Right.
So thing one is his left hand, thing two is his right hand. And then he does bits on thing one, bits on thing two, and then he uses those two places to sort of catapult a joke from thing one to thing two.
Holy shit.
And it was something as soon as he got near it, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to laugh at her. It was somebody I have nothing but empathy for.
Yep.
And I was like, no.
And
no. And it was so good. I laughed. There were so many moments where I was like, no, please don't do this to me.
Make me laugh against my will, Doug Stanhope.
Yes. It happened a lot. It was a really great special.
Wow.
And it's streaming on CISO now, but it was really cool to see it in a theater. And I wanted to see it. I wanted to see him, but I don't normally go out on a
Right.
night when I don't have a set because
Right.
I have a child. But I was like, well,
There's 3 other projects that have to happen for you to go out and watch other people stand
We
up.
did have a podcast tagged onto it,
Right.
And I kind of wanted to just to see if get any ideas for whatever my thing,
Yeah.
however I'm promoting my thing. So anyway.
Right, because your thing is coming out, and people are sad because you can only get it in the United States, right? CISO's
guess so,
only
yeah.
available. It's not available
Yeah,
in
we'll figure
Canada.
something out. We'll figure
Yeah,
something out.
I'm sure they will too, yeah.
But Doug's was great.
That's
It
awesome.
was great.
Doug is such a great comic.
Yeah,
man.
and I also love it when someone says the premise of their joke, and
Mm-hmm.
Nick DiPaolo does this too, where I'm like, that's not completely correct, or you're cherry picking. You don't put everything in that setup. Like I'm already, my hands are on my hips.
yeah.
And then the comic and Doug did this where they take you and you're looking at this premise through your camera, and he takes your head and puts you through the Doug Stanhope camera, and you go, I get it. I see what you're seeing now, and you still laugh. I mean, I
still
still
laugh.
don't think, I still don't line up, everything doesn't line up for me, like what I believe and stuff, but it made me laugh so much.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't agree on any number of things, but I
Yeah.
have laughed against my will, and I have
Yes.
laughed. And that kind of perspective,
Yeah.
It's just like when you can get someone to see, they're like, no, I don't change my attitude about that
Yeah.
political topic or that social thing
Yeah.
or that person, but I see why that's funny. I see what you did there.
Yes. And the other thing I guess this reminds me of that I wanted to talk about too is like I've been like finding Trump supporters on Twitter.
Yes, you
but I've been
have.
trying to subtly, not just fucking slam them unless they're
Right.
like massive assholes or they
Right.
turn into massive assholes.
Right, like-
but I try to like gently
You're like,
point
hey,
out a
are you
fact or
thinking
something.
about this part of it?
Yeah. And then I have people that jump in on it and just go, fuck you, you fucking racist. And then it just turns into this ugly thing that I'm included on because they keep
Tagging
retweeting
you,
and tagging
yeah.
me in it. It's like,
I was
you're not
trying to do
subtle,
something.
You're not smart. You're not going to change any minds.
Yeah.
I'm
You were
trying to
trying.
let them know that there actually is a nation of Hillary supporters in case they think the election's rigged if
Right.
Trump loses,
Right.
And you're creating more anger.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, you
Drives
just
me
wish I'm
nuts.
trying to bake a cake here. If you could not
Yeah,
throw
you can watch because it's a public forum, but don't jump in with your dumbness.
Right, and think that you're defending. I mean,
Yeah.
you are not a
You're
maiden
just- you're just
who
hard-
needs to be protected.
No,
It turns out, Lori Gilmartin.
and it's not even that. I think they just feel like, oh well, if they're not going to change, if Lori didn't change their mind, then they need to know they're a racist. It's not going to help anything.
No.
I mean, I live with a Trump supporter, and my dad was a Trump supporter, and they're not hateful people. They just believe their camera,
pointed at
is
something.
somewhere else, and
Right.
they think something very, very strong. I mean, some people are active racists, but not all of them are.
Right.
A lot of them
Who
are
knows?
just
I
scared.
can't.
And they like
They are scared.
male voice saying, "We're going to get tough." They just like that. They respond to that. They don't like a plan. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Weird.
How's
So-
your weekend?
My weekend was with Bamford, and I'm going out again. I think when I'll be home when this drops, but when this goes out into the iTunes world. But I just came from Seattle and Spokane, and had a couple of excellent Nerdist kind of nerdy moments. I was telling Kyle before, but I'm going to brag about it. Tycho Brahe from Penny Arcade came to the show in Seattle and said that I was like really funny. And he's the guy from Penny Arcade. And I you know the T-shirt for the Jackie and Laurie show where
Yeah.
it's the fruit, the juicer and the orange.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I'm wearing that T-shirt. That's his art.
Oh.
That's their art. And
Oh,
it's,
neat.
Yeah, it's that the character is called Fruit Fucker, and the juicer is a fruit fucker.
Wait, it's from our show?
No, it's from Penny Arcade, but it's the picture of us
Oh, okay.
standing outside a Meltdown. Here.
Oh, okay.
And then the next night in Spokane, the guy.
Oh, you're wearing the shirt.
I'm
in
wearing
our
the shirt
picture.
in our
Gotcha.
picture. There you go.
Gotcha.
And then the next night in Spokane, we did the Spokane Comedy Club.
Is it
Which
fun?
is
it's
so
It's
great.
the Tacoma Guys Club,
It's
right?
the Tacoma
Yeah.
Guys Club. I had, I don't like candy. In the green room, there's a dresser, and every drawer has different kinds of candy in it. And I was looking for, I don't know, like a soda maybe, so I asked him, I said, do you guys have like a root beer or something? He said, you don't. The only sweets we really have are candy. And then he started opening these drawers, and I must have ate 6 candy bars. I was in a sugar coma
Sure.
by the time Maria got off stage. Anyway, but at that show was a guy who invented the video game Myst, which is a huge fucking deal. And so,
Yeah.
and he liked my show too. So those are my 2 triumphs. And then a lady after him said, half drunk, you should do stand-up comedy too, which made me laugh.
Oh, my God.
She came, she was like, you were really funny, you should do stand-up too. And I was like, oh, you should have stopped it, you were really funny, because that's what I was doing.
Now, it's possible, since she's attending Maria's show, she has several personalities, and it's the one that's not a stand-up fan.
Possibly. I think what she meant you should headline, or you should come
sure.
back and be a thing. And
Yeah.
and I am going to come back and be a thing. It's
yeah.
all going to work out. I'm gonna do Spokane in March.
Oh, my God.
So they
that
booked
sounds
me.
great.
Yeah, they booked me to come back in March, and then super fun. And yes, and that
Okay.
was Spokane. And
Crossing that off your list of topics.
that was a topic I talked about.
I was in Brooklyn this weekend.
That's right. You did the cinder block.
So here was Friday. So Friday, I go to work. We work. I think I got off around 4:30 or something like that. Pick up my kid. From my kid he's taken debate. So pick him up.
Oh, nice.
And then I had a
Debate class. Debate class. Oh,
debate.
nice.
Yeah. So and then hung out with him for a little bit, and then I had a set at Flappers. Mm-hmm. I was on the 7:30 show. They put me up first.
Nice.
I Ubered to Flappers with my stuff, and then I Ubered from Flappers to the Burbank Airport and got on the plane. You know who's on the
Nice.
same plane with me on the same flight? Sean Conroy. You know Sean Conroy?
Yeah, I know Sean Conroy.
And then he's also on the same flight going back. We both took the red eye out. He was there
Just-
for a different reason,
right.
and then flew back on Sunday.
He's from Westchester. He's from
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Rochelle.
yeah.
Home of Dick Van Dyke, New Rochelle.
Yeah.
I know a little too much about Sean Conroy.
and New Rochelle, as it turns out.
Right.
But so I did the Cinderblock Comedy Festival.
In Brooklyn.
Yes.
And you did 3 shows in one night?
It was so fun.
Oh.
They were in a very tiny, they were like all 15-minute walk from each other.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, these fucking boots I got, these aerosol boots.
Yeah.
I don't have the height. I like to loom over the audience. I'm not looming anymore.
You're like 5'8", though. You're already tall.
I'm
There's-
5'9".
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, I like to be closer to 6 feet,
Sure.
just to threaten people so they know, don't fucking heckle me. I'll come after you. I'll stomp on you.
Exactly.
But I mean, I feel even at the end of the night, I wasn't in pain. I wasn't limping to the subway. It was great.
That is great.
So the first show, was at this place called Pudge Knuckles.
Pudge Knuckles. That
It's-
sounds very Brooklyn. What was
it? It was a coffee house.
Okay. All
And
right.
it was fun. And man, there was a girl named Andrea Shapiro.
Yeah.
Had the funniest rape joke, which I'll tell you off the air. I was like, because sometimes well, first of all, the whole point of the festival is it's non-white males. Non-straight
okay.
white male, mostly. It was
Okay.
like people that are always the only representative of their.
Oh, that's a
sect.
great theme. That's a great theme for
But it's so
for a
so it's
fest.
all women. It's all people of color. It's
Yeah.
all non-straight people and gay
whatever they
people,
could
whatever,
get. Whatever
yes.
they could get.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And so that was really cool. And so the first show, there was almost everyone had their own take on a rape, but it was cool. I
Right.
liked hearing it, and there were many funny jokes. And
Right.
then Andrea's really just, I was like,
Stood
God
out.
damn,
Stood out.
That was when I was like, God, why didn't I write that?
That's so great.
I love it when you think, all right, all the fruit's been picked off the tree, and someone comes up with a giant apple. Oh, you missed this one.
Oh
You
my
know?
gosh. I just saw Laura Bites. I did the Sandy Crawford show over at Paper and Plastic
Yeah.
on Pico.
Okay.
Here in Monday night. And I saw Laura Bites, who's a Chicago comic, and she had a whole new, you know how like a lot of comics talk about getting drunk and,
Yeah.
and trying not to drink and trying to drink more. I mean, it's like there's 3 different ways you can go with booze, right?
Yeah.
And she had the greatest joke about how she's, not drinking and her boyfriend and all this, just knocked it out of the park. I was just in the
Cool.
background just clapping and going, yay, Laura Bites. So good for her.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Janelle James was on that show.
Oh, wow.
And then I did this.
She's really funny.
She's very funny.
Yeah.
And I did the horrible. She was one of our comics of the week.
Yeah.
Previously, this horrible thing where I should know better. Where I said, I can't wait to see your set.
Oh, right. She
I
doesn't,
would-
why
no,
the pressure?
Why would you want that? Yeah.
Why-
What it should have said was, I got to go before you go on stage. Have a good set.
Or, hey, have fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just
Nobody
pretend
needs
you're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't
You
need,
can,
nobody
you can
needs
circle back when she's on stage, but don't say, I'll be watching you.
Right, I'm hoping to really to find
Yeah.
out how you tick. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Somebody once said to me, and I almost said it to another comic, and I felt I stopped myself before I said it.
Yeah.
Where I was talking about how much I liked this person's act,
Yeah.
and then I almost said, "That's some real stand-up." Somebody has said that to me, like an old comic once
Yeah.
said it to me, and I was like, yeah, that's what I've been. Hopefully it's real comedy. And so right before I said this is real stand up, nobody fucking wants
When you're
to.
talking to somebody who's going, oh, I'm not real stand up.
Right. What did you see previously? Was
Oh,
that me
yeah,
just
yeah.
screwing around? What the fuck?
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
and I take it you're judging every single person that comes in front of you as not real stand up
Oh.
or whatever. Right. It felt like a kind of a weird thing to say to somebody because I really want to be encouraging.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I did a set in front of Dana Gould, and
Yeah.
he didn't. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. It was probably 93, 94 at the Comedy Gallery in Minneapolis. He and I had been watching him all week, and I picked up a guest set. I was going to do a guest set in front of this guy that I just genuinely fallen in love with his stand-up.
Yeah.
And he blew me away. And I go up and I eat it. And I walk by him,
no.
and he can't even. He does the kindest thing he can do, which is he doesn't say a word. He can't. What's he going to say? Right?
He should have said, how'd it go? I'm sorry I missed it. How'd it go?
He was sitting right to the right of the stage. There was no. He didn't even make eye contact, which I thank him
Sure.
for that. Not out loud, now out
Yeah.
loud, but
Yeah. So that was a fun show.
Yeah.
And then
that was the first one.
that was the first one. Second one was crazy. Carolyn Castiglia, do you know her?
No.
Okay, so she's a Brooklyn-based comic, and the whole show was about consent. But it was fucking funny.
But not themed. Not themed.
It was
just happened to be about
no,
consent.
no. The whole show was themed like your stand up could be whatever it wanted, but she had a panel of comics and funny people, like some writers talking about consent, and then she had some graphics that I couldn't see all of because I was seated in the corner. But it was just really funny stuff about
About consent.
Yeah. It was like your funny teacher coming up with some good stuff.
Right.
'cause-
Okay.
and giving you information.
I think of as comedy as consent. It's just because.
So and that set was really fun too, and Baron Vaughn was on that one.
Oh, cool.
And then there was this band afterward, or these not a band, two female singer songwriters called The Revolution. I think they're called
wow.
The Revolution.
Okay. And they did comedy songs, or
Yeah,
Okay.
hilarious,
Awesome.
hilarious. Yes,
Yeah, there's
So
there's a
funny.
whole new world of funny guitar comics out there where you're
Yeah.
just like, what happened to those idiots
I know.
that I didn't
I'm
like
so
in the late
prejudiced
80s?
against guitar comics.
And then now
gotta get over
there's
it.
great because
Yeah.
it's happening. It's
Yeah.
it's happening whether we consented or not. It turns out people decided to write good jokes around their fucking guitar.
yeah.
Good for you.
And then the last one was at the Comedy Headliner Gallery, I think. It's this little tiny room downstairs. And it reminded me when I was going downstairs of when I went on vacation in Tokyo a while ago. And I was trying to find this one jazz club. I decided I didn't know what to do. I was just by myself. I was going to see jazz every night because I like jazz. And they have a crazy jazz scene there. And and the direction, it's really hard to find stuff in Tokyo because the streets don't have names. Oh, jeez. So I was looking for this place. I couldn't find it. And then I finally got there, and then I had to go down these stairs, and I'm like, I'm in a foreign country, and I walk in, and there's only Japanese men and one woman, and she's in the band, and I'm the only white person there,
right? And
I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But I still felt, I don't know, I still had a great time. I felt safe. But anyway, I'm going down these stairs, and I'm like, I'm getting flashbacks, and it was just a teeny tiny room, really fun.
And the good dank, like the
good dank,
low
it was a little hot.
That'll happen. Nothing wrong with that.
And Baron was on that show too, and Mike Kaplan. And,
nice.
And Corey Spencer, who kind of put the whole thing together.
Oh wow!
And it's named Cinderblock after. She told me the story, and I didn't get exactly how it happened, but some sort of force hurled a cinder block in New York at her ankle and broke it, and just crushed it in several places.
Oof.
And she sort of used that as a metaphor to turn a bunch of stuff around.
Okay.
And, anyway, that was that.
Corey
It was really
Spencer.
fun. And of course, got to sleep massively.
Right.
I got in Saturday morning around 8 a.m. and I just took like 30 milligrams of melatonin, and I was out till around 3:30, and it was so good.
That must be great.
Yeah.
I have not slept. All I do is I've been on the road so much lately, and I'm going out again. Tomorrow is the only day. I flew back today, and
your schedule lately has been brutal.
It's brutal, but I realized today that it reminds me of how tired I was when I first moved to LA because I had 2 jobs and I was trying to do stand-up every night.
Wow.
And I remember being tired but also kind of happy because I was doing a lot of stand-up and I was...
The reason you're tired is it's good. It's a good reason.
There's a good reason I'm tired. I'm tired because I get to do stand-up every night and I get to do awesome... And Bamford's crowds, man, they are just a freaking delight, of course, right? And these 2 shows, I was psyched about these 2 shows because, Maria always asks before the show, she's like, what do you want out of this set? What do you want out of this set?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I was like... You know what I want out of this? I said this in Seattle. You know what I want out of this set? I want to have fun. I want to stop working on my album, which I'm going to record in 2 months.
Right.
And I'm going to do, I did the Spooky Reading Girl bit, which I love that bit. I love that bit.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it in months. And I've done it 3 times in the last week and a half. And turns out it's still a good joke. Still a perfectly good joke. And so I did it. And I got to work... I got to do all my favorite new stuff. I tagged some stuff, and I just came from doing that set over at Sandy Crawford, the Pico thing, and I just worked on, and I decided not to freak out and try to get the right order. You know how with jokes, sometimes it ruins them if I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying everything correctly. It makes them
you're in your head.
I'm in my head, and so I was like, I'm going to work on this. I have this joke that I'm working on for 1,000 generations about the advice my dad gives. And it was more fun now because I just pulled like different parts of it and I didn't try to make sure I hit all the beats.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Just try to tell all the parts of the jokes that you like.
Yeah.
And then just leave it at that and then see what happens from that. I'm doing the 25th anniversary of my home club, Acme, in November. And I think we're only doing 10-minute sets. And then I'm coming back in December to do my album New Year's week. And Andy suggested, he said, so with that 10-minute set, you should just do all setups. And then make him come back New Year's week for the punchlines. And I was like, I don't think I have the guts to do that. I think like Tig would do that. I think a different comic would do that.
Yeah.
I want to be liked more.
Yeah.
So I have to finish the fucking
I
jokes.
have that disease too.
Yeah, it's crazy, Bill.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right, hold
That's
on.
what do you got?
I had things on my list.
You want to do comic of the week? I don't know where are we at, Kyle? Silent Kyle. 24.
All right,
That's
we're
not
humming
bad.
along.
Yeah, we're humming along.
Yeah. Final drink orders, right?
Check drop coming.
Our pal, Karen Rontowski.
K-Ron, you guys. Karen Rontowski, who has just awesome jokes. Setup punch,
Yep.
and then paranormal stuff and spooky
She's
stuff.
into
and
some weird shit.
She is into some weird shit that she is because she's a comic. She's into it.
Yeah,
but she can
she's
also
all the way
mock
in.
it.
Oh yeah. She's great.
She has dug that hole, jumped into it, and
Yeah.
is burying herself in the sand of tarot cards
Yeah.
and dog whisperers.
Karen's also somebody I saw her headshot all the time. We work the same gigs,
Parallel
for
gigs.
25 years.
'Cause
I
she's
never
San
met
Diego
her.
comic.
Yeah, never met her.
West
Just I would
Coast. Mm-hmm.
hear she was good, and I met her out here kind of around the same time I met you. You know,
Yeah.
and she's just phenomenal. She also does yoga like 6 hours a day and has an amazing body.
super bendy, and bought a bike over at Target, which she was just telling me. But her stand up, it's a joy to watch. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's-
I don't know if Letterman sets are still on the internet. They might have yanked them, but
Oh, yeah?
if you can find her Letterman. It's
Finder
great.
Letterman said it was the controversial year where she was the only one.
Oh yeah, she was the only
woman.
She's the one that she was the she's the one
She was the one woman that they booked that year, but
that they used to say, well, we book women,
well,
women.
and she did a great job, of
Yeah.
course, because she's genuinely. She can play any room. That's my favorite thing. Like
Yeah.
she does like a lot of old people housing in Florida. She'll do like these retirement homes.
Yeah.
But then she'll do Vegas and Atlantic City and one nighters and then A rooms.
Yeah.
And any room.
Utilitarian.
Corporates. And
Yep.
anything you want. Karen Rontowski, you guys. At Karen Rontowski, it turns out. That's her that's
her
her
handle.
handle. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. What else? Huh?
I don't know. I'm looking through I can't see my notes because it's so dim in here.
It's pretty dim. Oh, yeah. I turned on all the lights. I forgot the other
It's
ones.
for people with young eyes.
You got any questions, Kyle? You got any?
No, we can't go to the question. Come on. Come on, man. We're fucking professionals. That's just
right.
that's the headliner's cheat
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
questions.
All right. All
My
right.
God.
Good Lord.
Come on, man.
I've been listening
What, are you
to my
stretching?
sets. I am stretching. It's I have two other I've been listening to my sets.
Yeah.
I've been recording and listening to my sets. What
Yeah.
a pain in the
It
fucking
hurts.
ass. Yeah. And
It hurts.
Right. It does hurt. And I'm like, oh, that was super echoey. I'm not going to be able to hear the jokes. And then I'm like, listen to it for a minute and a half. You'll get used to it. And then it'll be fine. And so I've gotten lines out of it. I've
I
tightened
know,
up jokes.
I know.
It's all good for you.
It fucking works.
It works.
It does
That's why
work.
people do it.
It's so annoying, though.
It's-
But it is so much easier to do on the train in New York.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
Have you
'cause
been doing
yeah, I have my notebook in my hand and I got my pen, and I'm just listening.
Headphones?
While I'm on a 30, 40-minute train ride and just taking notes, Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
So-
then here I got to do it while I'm driving and I'm kind of half paying attention and half not. And then I don't like hearing my voice come out of the car speaker. It's
I don't want to hear it at all.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But I finished Norman Lear. You'll be happy to know. I knew you wanted to know.
Is he
how
dead?
I finished with him. No,
You finished him off.
I finished him off. He's 90. I finally there was a little too much info about his sex life, where I was like, dude, nobody wants to know.
I
I'm
think
glad
if you're
getting some.
94, you get to say it.
Well, then you'll be happy to know I bought you a copy of the book. And I forgot to bring it, but yeah, I got you a copy.
You're sweet.
Because parts of it are amazing. They're just
Yeah.
like storytelling wise. And I need to find Mary Hartman, and Fernwood Tonight,
Oh yeah.
because I forgot that he had done those.
Yeah.
And then did you know? And why would you? Because that Rob Reiner wanted to direct a movie.
Yeah.
And he could not get anyone to back him.
Yeah.
So Norman Lear underwrote the movie Stand By Me.
No way.
Stand By Me. And then Stand
Did
By
he get
Me-
money? He get a lot of money back from that.
I believe. I think it's all working out. He's not living check to check, though. He does talk about how there was he only had 2 houses at one point. It was very sad for him. Anyway, but the other one was Rob. So Rob Reiner, Stand By Me. You would think you'd believe in Rob Reiner then.
Oh,
But
that
for-
didn't give him enough
that-
credit.
No. So the next movie he wants to do, Norman Lear has to underwrite that one too, and it's The Princess Bride.
Wow.
And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Stand By Me and The Princess Bride might not have been made except for Rob Reiner and Norman Lear.
Man.
That's insane.
Oh, I do you do this sometimes? We talk here, and then you feel like you didn't make your point correctly. A lot.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So
What do you got?
last week, or whenever that was, it was hour 2 when we were being starved and thirsted of water
Oh, right.
in this chamber.
Scratchy throated.
Like what midnight on a Wednesday or some god awful.
So late.
I don't think I articulated when I was talking about why isn't there a female sort of polymath like a Louis type or a
Oh.
Birbiglia, and then you guys were saying Christella or Tig, and I was like, yeah, I think so, but I think what I meant
Yeah.
was what they have done, what both of them did, came out of stand-up, and stand-up was like first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is true about Louis or Birbiglia at all, but it seems like they, from the start, had all allowed themselves to entertain all these different things as well as stand up. And I think, and I again, this is, I could be completely wrong, and
This is
just
all
basing
opinion.
all of my, just out of my experience, that maybe women don't give themselves that freedom because we don't think of ourselves as having 300 options. Like, I don't even think I have the option to be married. I'm like, oh, I'm a comic. I can't be married.
Right, you say that regularly, and you're like, "Hey, I'm no giant proponent of The Secret, but you can't deny shit." And
You know, but,
so,
but do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Where,
well,
you know, I think if you're a female comic, you're going to go all in and you put all the eggs in that basket. And then
I think a lot of comics do that.
If it works, though, then you can spread out like Christella or Amy Schumer or Tig and go.
you think that Louis and Birbiglia might have had that vision from the get to be all the things?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that
It's just such an odd trend to go from being a stand-up then to go. Was he on Broadway, Birbiglia? He was on
Yeah,
Broadway.
yeah,
Nathan
well,
Lane. And then to movies. That's not a common trajectory, and it's one you have to decide you want. It's not like
remember in
someone
the-
goes, "Hey, I saw you do 5 minutes at the comic strip. Let me put you on Broadway." It's like you going, "I think I'm going to go on Broadway." You know,
Nathan Lane, though.
it's a big. It's I don't know.
Nathan
It's,
Lane fell in love with Mike Birbiglia. Is from all like the sort of the.
But so
the
what? If
rumor
he
mill.
fell in love with us, he would come see our shows, and he wouldn't put us on. We wouldn't put stand up on Broadway by itself, right?
But there was a time when everybody was doing those solo shows, and that's Mike Birbiglia also did a solo. Like I did
Yeah.
a solo show 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Salesmen and Thieves, you guys. It's not out there. Okay, but it was. I got a lot of stand up from it, and it
Yeah.
was a storytelling with an arc and a button and the
Yeah.
bleh, and still cancer free. That nobody dies. It's all working out. So, but it's the thing is. But Mike did that. He had a great solo show about sleepwalking, and Nathan Lane saw it and genuinely was like, he loved Mike. He loved that. He thought the story was good enough, and he bankrolled his off Broadway.
Wow,
That's what Nathan Lane did. So I think Mike was just doing stand up. You remember that old Mitch Hedberg joke about stand up versus doing a sitcom? It was something along the line.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the joke.
Can you, if you do stand up, can you also write or act? And it's like saying to a cook, can you also farm?
Can you also farm? Right. It's like, I know you're a chef, but
Yeah.
what's your farming or what's your agriculture?
Yeah.
And it was a great, we have just, by the way, he's going to roll over in his grave, Mitch Hedberg, because of
The
how
way
we
we-
fucking hacked that joke to death. But that's, I mean, I think that comics, and I think men, women, everybody, we all just like blinders on, go comedy, 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 comedy. And then if we're offered something else, we're like, well, how do I do it? Sure, I'll do it. And I was because I was talking to Maria, and you know, she's going to shoot another season of Lady Dynamite, right? And she was talking about how she thinks I need to write a novel, and I was like, no, I wish to have written a novel. I don't want to write a novel.
No
It
one
sounds
wants
like
to write a novel.
It sounds like an awful lot of work. And she said, no, I want you to write like a romance science fiction novel. And I was like, Lois McMaster Bujold already did that. It's fine. Anyway, so it's just space opera. It's some great stuff. It's an action. It's like Han Solo in space, but it's
There could be more than one.
no, I know there can be, and I should do it. And it was encouraging of it, but I said it's sort of like a rape fantasy where I want to
Explain this one, JK. You better.
where I want to be forced to act. You have to act.
Right.
I want to be forced to write the great American novel. I want to be forced to write a screenplay. I want to be forced to direct. I want to be forced to be president. Some people have greatness thrust upon them, and that's my rape fantasy. And I want to have greatness thrust upon me. But I know that's
an interesting window into your secret thoughts.
Very much so, because you're like, Jesus Christ, Jackie, you don't
A
want
rape isn't having greatness thrust upon you.
No, I know, but have you ever?
No, I know what you mean. I know.
Yes,
what you mean.
because sometimes there's sex fantasies where
Yes.
you and a partner you trust.
Yeah.
You know, you have. Did you
You
know
already
that,
lost me.
Right. Did you know that Barry Manilow's safe word is apricot? Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, I don't know why I know that, but I do.
you just made that up.
Nope, didn't make it up. Somebody
That's a
told
clock
me.
eater. Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it is a clock eater. But like, what? I mean, of all the things that you want to do, right? Like, I want someone to let me act, but all the people who I know are actors, they act like
Yeah.
I do stand up.
Right,
Like
right,
they
right.
go out and they do student films.
Yeah.
They do. Jane Edith Wilson
Yeah.
is acting in an indie movie because she's an actress.
Yeah.
And nobody gave her a giant movie.
Yeah.
She just wants to work and play dress up and pretend and hooray, right? She
Right.
loves acting. And if I loved it like that, I think
Well-
I would do it more.
There's so many. I mean, what about these comics that have all these other aspirations? You know, and I'm like, I just want to be a better comic. You know, but maybe if I didn't have a kid, I would want more. Right now. I'm like, all I can take is improving this one joke I'm trying to work on.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that you're writing a book, right?
Yes.
And you're
Oh my God.
and you're doing
It's
stand up.
awful. Yeah.
And you have a day job where you write monologue jokes for another person, and then you are raising a child, and then you have a mother who lives with you and won't shut up.
Right.
So so if you wanted to do something else, like if you, in addition to writing this book, you wanted to also direct shorts or learn how to edit video, or
I do. Those are all on my to-do list for
right,
another
we're doing
time
a
in my life.
podcast. You
Oh my
wanted
God,
to do
yes.
a podcast
Yeah.
9 months ago. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're doing it. It's
Yeah.
happening right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, the Dork Forest is so fun for me, but I am sometimes exhausted by the fact someone's like, well, you should also set up a Patreon account. And I'm like, stop talking. I don't want to do one more thing to some extent, right?
Yeah.
But I would genuinely love to write fiction. And I think that I'd be a good actor if I did it. And I just wish I had the inspiration to do it. But I don't know what free time, what would I stop doing to do that?
Right. I don't know. I mean,
Feels rhetorical, but,
no, but if you take acting classes,
I
is that-
have. Yeah. And I would
That's
take them-
acting, right? It's not
That's
professionally
acting.
acting or anything.
But it's learning
Yeah.
and I took an amazing. It was a 12-week acting class. It was called boot camp because everything's called boot camp in
I
Los
know,
Angeles.
jeez.
And but it was from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. 5 days a week
fuck.
for 12 weeks.
That's
And
crazy.
It was 2 6-week classes, and there were 4 classes that you took. There was a Meisner, the 7, was it 7? Might have been 8 to 9 was a Meisner sort of word bally kind of thing, where you learned how to do that, and then 9 to 11 was a scene study class, and then you'd break for lunch, and you'd come back at noon, and noon to 1 or 1:30 or 2 was for the camera. Or a cold. There was like a series of different,
Yeah,
and
right.
every day had different classes. It was sort of like high school,
Yeah.
or college, where
Like
you go to-
Fame. It's like you're attending Fame High
yeah,
School.
yeah, and it's in Burbank, and it's Actors Boot Camp. I forget what it's called, but it was fascinating, and it really was inspirational. But I couldn't go on the road for 12 weeks.
Right. You couldn't go to bed past 9 p.m. for 12 weeks. My
and
God.
they were big, and it was intense, and there was a great one of the first 6 weeks were just acting and learning very basic stuff, and second 6 weeks was for the camera acting, and also like a business class, and you had to go get headshots, and everybody did that thing that just started happening about 4 or 5 years, where everybody snap judged you and cast you.
Oh.
So that was where the joke that I came up with
Yeah.
about the airport cop and the PTA
Yeah.
mom and all that.
Yeah.
Because they were like, no way are you, nobody's falling in love with that. You're, you're a drill sergeant.
Horrible business.
It is a horrible business, but
Yeah.
but you do get a sense. I have a beautiful headshot, a really beautiful headshot that I got when I was taking that class, and the teacher was so fucking funny about it. He said, "This is a great headshot. This is going to get you a lot of auditions, and then you're going to show up."
Oh my God.
I was like, "What the?" He was like, "You can't duplicate whatever that makeup artist did. That's not what you look like every day. You have to have a headshot that looks like you, so that when the casting person looks at it and then you show up, they're casting that."
Wow.
And I call it my mop and glow, because I look like sort of like the perfect housewife in this thing.
Yeah.
It's a great, I wonder what happened to that shirt. Anyway, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
And all I did was I was in LA for 12 weeks. I did that, and then I did stand up at night, and it was a really, really fun time. And I could do it again, but there was no money in it, and it cost.
Yeah. Here's how I'm writing this book is sometimes I just write every week I have a list of 50 potential chapters.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote them out already. They're like all jokes.
Okay.
That each could be blown up into
A chapter.
500 to 750 words.
Okay.
Right.
So it's small chapters.
They're all small chapters. It's
Okay.
all sitting while you're taking a shit.
Fair enough.
That's my market
Hello,
is constipated people.
Sniglets.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I've been trying to do one a week, and I just did,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the math because, based on when it's due.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I should be doing 2 a week. I just did that this morning, and I was heartbroken because one a week. I wanted to do one a week till like January, and then start doing rewrites from January to mid-March when it's due.
Are you doing a thing where you write it out and then reading it to anyone?
No. Here's what
If
I'm
you
doing.
ever want to, I will listen and be supportive.
Okay.
Okay.
I might not, but maybe.
No worries. It's because saying it out loud.
Yeah, I do. But it's not being written to be read out loud.
Right.
It's.
But you're such an audible. It's an auditory skill, I think, that you
Right.
would hear. You
Yeah.
would hear where jokes could be,
Yes, that's true. That's true.
and I would love to hear it.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right,
but
cool.
do whatever you want to do. Obviously.
But no, so I'm trying to do is just, 15 minutes a day. And then if I'm on a roll, I
going?
can keep going. But if I'm not, it's okay.
Okay.
And then during the week, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends when I have more time is I take all these glops of, jokes or paragraphs and I try to mush them together and figure out the order. And
Okay.
just have a rough beginning, middle, and end. And then just notes to myself about when I circle back to this, and then just put it away and be done. And so, I finished a chapter last night on the plane. I was like, I don't know. It's not 100% finished, but
Yeah.
the having it weigh down on me is going to make me not be able to write anymore. So I was like, it's done for now.
Yep.
I'll look at this again in February. On to this
There you
next
go.
chapter, and I keep looking and I'm going, now which one feels like it's going to be fun to write right now?
That's great.
And so
The fact that you wrote 50 lines
Yeah.
of this is a topic, this is a topic, this
Yeah,
is a joke
yeah.
topic.
So that's one. I'm just trying to trick myself into writing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just tricky, and so I'm bringing it up because, if you want to write something,
Those are good techniques.
they're working for me. I don't know what would work for you, but any kind of way to trick yourself into just starting a sentence.
Yeah.
Because there is a part of your brain that once you get there and you get in there, part of your brain's like, yes, let's do it. Like, you do have there's some force in you that's eager to get this shit out.
Yeah.
But there's the other force that doesn't want to
So
open
you
up
want
the
to trick yourself to
computer.
start.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't mind that. I think that's...
And it is helping me to say, you know what? This is definitely a B- effort, this chapter that I just wrote. But I don't have time to make it an A+ right now. I have to move on to the next one. I'll circle back, and I know we'll get back. I'll right now everything's like it's rough and blurry, and I'm going to get it all out, and then I'm going to come back with my jeweler's,
little jeweler's loop.
my jeweler's loop, yes, and get in there and really pare down those words and see where things are being duplicated. What's the tough part is like not stepping on other jokes for other chapters.
Right.
Because it's all about one topic. So it's, each chapter is very specific and I'm trying not to, things could bleed into each other
Yep.
very easily. And I don't want them to.
Right.
I don't want to repeat jokes or feel like, oh, I think I read a version of this joke on a previous chapter,
But you could sit there and massage one chapter for a week, and that's not going to help. Or wait, you're doing one.
I'm doing one a week.
One a week. You could do it for months. That was, I guess, what I'm saying. But what you're doing is you're knocking it out in a
and
week.
I'm telling myself I'm starting this one, and whatever I finish on Sunday, that's done for now. So it doesn't linger over, and all of a sudden I have to start the new one. I have to finish this old one. You know how things build up. You ever sometimes I'll skip a workout, and then part of me's like, I'll do 2 tomorrow. Which
my
I
God.
never fucking do. Then I don't do any the next day, and
Right.
then I have to do 3 work. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
so
never gonna happen,
There
yeah.
has to be an end. You always have to give yourself an end to free your brain up a little bit.
Yeah.
You get bogged down by this guilt and this I should and I'm so far behind and this and then you can't
And first
move your
draft is
fucking
first
parallel.
draft. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And first draft is first draft, and it'll be so much having anything out and having not looked at it for a couple of months. I think when you go back to it,
it's
you're going to
so much easier to go in and
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Than the first.
And
the
add
first
to
thing
and
you're
punch up
You're hiking in a cave you've never been in before. You don't know what's there, and then
Right.
you come back and you're like, oh, this place.
That's right.
You know?
Stalactites. They hang from the ceiling.
Wow,
I don't know
that's
what
nice
the-
that you had that word at your fingertips at this time of night.
Sure, I'm available. I got some things I got some things in my head.
But what
It's,
what if you just did like a very broad version of a story
Yeah.
and then
And then just try to fill it in. Just like did an
slowly
outline.
fill it in, get an outline,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to go in any order. Why don't you pick the breakup? That would be maybe in your third, the last third of the book, and write. I don't know, just
Right.
make it fun because it has to be a little fun when you're writing.
Well,
a little bit when you get excited about an idea, it is fun.
Right now, I just finished reading this first. I just found this new author, and she wrote. I've never heard of her. She writes thrillers that
J.K. Rowling, you've never heard
I've
of?
never heard of J.K. Rowling, you guys. Her name is Helen McGuinness, I think
Okay.
it is. And she's a British thriller suspense writer from the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Wow.
And so I just read a book called Above Suspicion, which was published in 41. She's British.
Mm-hmm.
It was made into a movie by 43.
Wow.
It's a Fred McMurray,
During the war? Wow.
Joan Crawford movie, and it's set in 1937
Hmm.
about an Oxford couple who gets sucked into being spies and go into Germany in 1937. Above Suspicion, and I've been trying. It's not on Netflix,
Interesting.
but it's a Fred McMurray, Joan Crawford
You can
movie.
probably buy it on iTunes, right?
Yeah, it's got to be on iTunes or Amazon or some damn thing.
Yeah.
But the book itself, it was so well written, and it made me want to write spy books, or or mysteries or whatever the hell
Yeah.
she's written there. And now I just started the new one, and this one's from 1963 that she's written. I can't remember the name of it. Venetian Blinds, probably not. Venetian something else.
Yeah.
And but it's a Cold War. It's set 2 weeks after the Berlin Wall is built.
Wow.
In 1961. So, I want to write all of those books. I want to write, and I don't want to write. I'm not a huge fan of slice of life books.
Yeah.
Maria bought. It was not an Anne Lamott book. Was it Anne Pratchett? Whatever. Lamott is
Anne Patchett.
Anne Patchett.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's these incredibly well written, very beautiful slice of life kind of.
Yeah. I've never read anything about her, but I've heard she's great.
Yeah, I hear
on
she's
my
great.
list. Yeah.
It's I like sort of pulpy fiction.
Yeah.
When and I read classics and I read nonfiction, but there's no reason for me to justify my reading. Who the fuck cares? But I genuinely like sort of a happy ending. I know that it's gonna, the bad guy's gonna get it, and that's what I like, and that's what I would like to write.
Yeah.
So an outline toward that goal is not a bad idea. I don't know what that would be.
Maybe you could start backwards. Start with your dead bad guy. Start with the dead guy.
Oh, right.
Get your ending.
Yeah. Look, how about I make Mr. Potter fucking pay for It's a Wonderful Life? Why don't I goddamn do that? Because that guy got $7,000 and he walked away.
That's a lot of money back then.
A lot of money. Hays Code didn't catch it either. Anyway, remember the Hays Code?
Barely.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
the-
their censorship.
That was the
thing, right?
censorship thing, yeah.
I'm still reading. I'm still.
You still doing Irish? You still doing Irish?
Patty's Lament is folded. It's like I'm gonna go back to it, but the coffin ships were like really depressing. But I got to go back.
Okay.
Then I'm reading this novel by the same guy, Sebastian Barry, who I've read a lot of
Several
his
of his
stuff. And
stuff.
so this is this last one that I haven't read, and I
nice.
haven't in a long time read every book an author wrote, but I love this guy, and he's talking about it, again. It's the Irish Civil War,
Yep.
which people don't know too much about.
No.
It was after World War One. The Irish, led by Michael Collins, the Irish that wanted, United Ireland, and versus the people that wanted to stay.
Right.
And there was lots of spying, lots of backstabbing, lots of brother against brother,
Civil War stuff.
Yeah, really, really horrifying stuff, and the ways they punished each other, the ways they tortured traitors. Wow, horrific. It's not known. I don't think it's known too much.
No,
that besides
and
the
this is
Liam
Irish
Neeson
on
movie.
right.
Yeah.
This is Irish on Irish crime.
Yeah,
right?
and Irish Catholic on Irish Catholic. I mean, it's
geez.
not even necessarily Protestant Catholic, because a lot of Catholics they wanted to stay.
Yeah,
not a
change-
lot, but enough where they were fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
the other Catholics. So
Oh my gosh! You know that I did. Did I tell you this? I sent away my DNA.
oh yeah, what are you?
I don't know. So we'll find out next time. I must have already told you. I just have the 4 stories.
You did it. I made a hacky Armenian joke. I also replayed in my head. Over
But
and
I
over
found
again.
out. I told my brother because one of my brothers, he's a genealogy guy, and I was like, "Well, I sent away my DNA to get checked for 23andMe. You may not want to know what it is." And he goes, "No, you could tell me. You could tell me." And I said, "Okay. Well, when I find out, I'll tell you because I think it's going to be half Armenian, a quarter Irish, quarter Norwegian." And he told me that my grandmother, who I have always assumed was Norwegian, was adopted.
You did tell me this on the last
and
podcast.
then okay, so that's I genuinely have 4 fucking stories. How about I talk about? I'm going to Toronto
I wonder
tomorrow.
if I missed your grandmother's story. Jeez.
I know it. I'm going to Toronto, and it's going to be. I get to do 2 1-hour sets. I get to open for Maria's 2 1-hour sets, and I get to do a live Dork Forest, and then I'm going to do that the but it about how to get one-nighter work.
Cool.
So-
Does it apply in Canada, the home of Yuck Yucks?
I doubt it, man. Yuck Yucks is so out of hand up there.
I'm looking to see if I have any gigs to plug. You know what? October
Yeah.
25th here in LA.
Yeah.
The Conan writers are doing a show at the York.
Oh,
And
really?
so all the writers at Conan that do stand up are going to be at the York.
Well, I'm doing a show with Brian Kiley, I think, next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're driving
He's so
together
great.
up to almost Santa Barbara. After he
Are you
works.
doing Samantha Ross's gig?
No, it's a Jason Love gig.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, so,
Cool.
but when Jason told me that Brian was doing it, I was like, really, Brian? You're going to work all day and then you're going to drive to Oxnard or wherever the hell we're going? And he said, yeah, do you want a carpool? And I said, yeah, I do want a carpool. I don't want to go at all. So
You know what? I next week I'm doing a gig in Santa Barbara on Thursday night, and we usually get out a little early on Thursday so I can make it. And I was supposed to do Comedy Juice in Irvine on Tuesday night.
Okay.
And I asked if they could replace me because I just was like, that
too much.
That's a round trip in the middle of the work week.
Yeah.
It's really exhausting.
Right, it'd be different if you were Johnny Carson and had a driver. This is the town that should really adopt driverless cars, don't you think?
Yeah.
This is the one, and I'm looking forward to it. The day
I never cancel gigs though, but
I know
I'm trying
After
to be
this,
smarter
I'm
with
going
my
over to the
time.
Public.
I know you have another set tonight.
looking
and it's
forward to
like,
that.
What time is it now?
It's 11
Kyle?
right now. Hey, where are we at, Kyle?
We're at 53.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not
53.
bad at all.
Look at
Feeling
us,
good.
and we're still cheerful, you guys.
Still
Huh?
cheerful. Well, you know what? We got to lead a little bit of a life before
Yeah.
we had another podcast.
I
to
know
do.
it. I took a nap. I couldn't believe the call time for. Okay, so I fly so much now that I have paid. I've got the credit card that lets me into the Delta Sky Club.
Right.
And so not this morning, but yesterday morning in Seattle, 8:30 in the morning, we're flying to Spokane. So 8:30 in the morning, I go into the Delta Sky Club in Seattle, and the bartender is pouring shots. And people are doing shots
Oh my god!
at 8:30 in the morning and having giant IPAs, and I was like,
How many were pilots?
right, I didn't see any pilots, blessedly. And there were some suits, though. There were definitely some polo shirts and some Dockers. It was grim. And I was like, and the bartender was like, all right, I got a Jack Neat. Who needs a Jack Neat?
Oh my God,
I was like,
who needs one?
Who needs a Jack Neat at 9 in the morning?
Oh my god! What a
just-
credit card to have.
It was my favorite thing about it, because I know how to party here in my twilight years, is hard-boiled eggs. They serve a hard-boiled egg in the morning. That's pretty great.
Hey, my mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's doing better. She did prepare some hard-boiled eggs for me.
Oh wow, she's
getting
cooking.
chore by chore. She's returning to her prior self.
Fair enough.
The top of the dishwasher was empty, not the bottom. I can't bend over, so I had to empty I had to get the fucking silverware, which is the worst part.
Right.
So she did get the coffee mugs.
She did the easy part. She didn't have to
Yeah.
separate the forks
I'm
from
still
the
doing
knives.
my own laundry, which
Oh.
is not what I anticipated when I let her move in. But she's getting better, and she just ordered a Michael Savage book. So,
Who is that?
oh, okay,
Yeah.
he is a right wing a radio host,
Or just some talking
he's
head dude?
he's crazy.
Okay.
yeah, Michael Savage is great, and Mark Levin. She's part of Mark Levin's network. Like,
Right.
he's trying to sell her. I have to make sure she doesn't blow all of her money on some fucking
Right.
gold or something. that
Right.
These
Or
guys are
tinfoil hats.
anyway. So she
Yeah.
got her a post-Obama life in a post-Obama world, apocalyptic
Right.
vision of Democrats.
I got an email from Obama today. Not personal.
Oh, I did
but,
too.
Did the one where he said that he'll take it as a personal insult?
Yeah.
As if Trump, you're like, you should, because the only reason he would be elected is if people freaked out because a black man did the job, and they were like, it doesn't count. And you're like, ugh.
Well, I don't think they're going to vote for him. I think it's definitely against Hillary. It's
Well,
not
the-
about
well-
a black.
well, no,
otherwise,
it's
he wouldn't have
because-
won re-election.
Well, my theory. Here's my unsuspected. This is my theory.
This is the
that-
last 5 minutes of the podcast. We're talking politics. Go.
Yes, Obama was elected by people who were like, oh, I'm not going to vote for Sarah Palin and
You
only
mean for Republicans?
Yeah, for
Okay.
Republicans, they had the worst choice, so they
Right.
vote for Obama. And this is it's a sort of an old knee jerk white guy attitude. It's like, yeah, let the black guy try. Let that guy try. He'll probably choke, and then he doesn't choke. And now, because he didn't choke, they're like, oh, I'm not going to elect some woman. Now they're never going to need us. That's my theory, is that white guys are like, no, they're never going to need us if a woman is elected. I know. There's not a lot of substantiation there. Hey, I'm going to do Akbar this week. I was just looking at my LA sets. I love Akbar. Do you do Akbar?
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while.
Bruce Daniels?
But I love it.
It's so great.
I don't think. I think Trump has given voice to the people that are outraged about Obama, and he's given them. They're in a club now. Right? The Tea Party wasn't
They
exactly
found each
it.
other. Yeah.
The Tea
They
Party
really did.
wasn't exactly it.
It's true.
You know.
Gateway.
Yeah. this is a subset of the Tea Party, but it's also grabbed some other people too, some real nationalists.
Yeah.
And on the backs of Muslims.
Yeah.
They are, all this stuff about how Hillary looked when she's giving the press conference about the Chelsea bombing.
Oh, right.
Were you on Twitter at that time?
No, I saw that you posted. You were like, "What? You would have given her shit if she took 20 minutes to put some makeup on, right?"
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no winning. Yeah,
She can't win. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. Like there's genuine flaws, but the shit she gets, I'm a total warrior for her now. Just because you guys aren't attacking her on shit you could attack her on.
Right. There's that, and the fact that that when you think about the job as president, it is a job. She can do the job. Just get out of the way, and then vote for somebody else 4 years from now. Get a real candidate that you can really support, and then you can run somebody again. But she can do that. There's no. And does she still have a vagina? Yeah, she does. I got a vagenda, you guys.
George H.W. Bush said he was going to vote for her.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's so funny, but
I missed that.
Here, and I hate to quote my tweet, but I was like, "Ooh, here come the millennial voters! Like they're gonna give 5 fucks about that old guy."
Yeah, that old guy, the CIA fuck. That he had the headed the CIA.
Yeah.
Talk about torture.
Oh, believe me, I've been watching Narcos. I think I know all about it, Jackie. I think I know all about it. Kyle, come on, we're done, right?
Yeah, you're done.
Thank you.
Sweet justice.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.